We were doing this?
We're going. It's
Oh,
rolling.
this is live?
Yeah, you about to take a cigarette break? It's too late.
I thought we were done.
We're gonna talk about the ceiling installation first. What did we do? We installed the framework, like the basic framework, so we knew this is where the bathroom's gonna be, this is where the bedroom's gonna sit, and then closet, kitchen, and we kind of figured out where we wanted to put cabinets so that we knew exactly how much paneling we needed for the ceiling, and because the bathroom was gonna have its own thing, we didn't want to put any ceiling in there. And so one of the first things we needed to do was take our measurements, and then it was time to put in nailers. Is that the right term?
Yeah, it's a nailer.
It's a nailer.
We're using these guys, these 1x3s, with these self-tappers with the hex heads to mount up here, and then that's what we're mounting all of our boards to. So I just went through and marked each point where there's like, well, I marked 4 points where there's no hole in this framing, so we could send the self-tappers up into there. You know, they'll have bite there. If we hit one of these, you're just spinning into nothing. And then we're also gonna throw some adhesive. I think we're using liquid nail to keep it all up there.
Mark right in the middle.
So what we're trying to do here is get these as flush to the board as possible, because this is what we're gonna adhere our cedar planks to. And so we bought these sink bits, countersinks, to hopefully achieve that. Where are you eating dirt? It's on your face.
Butter. Go for it, baby.
The screws basically just get them up there, and then the glue is what holds it.
Yeah. Combination.
When we bought the ceiling stuff, do you guys remember what we bought?
No.
It's cedar something. Like, it's tongue and groove cedar, right?
Yeah, what would you call
But
it?
it's like thin garbage.
Beadboard, yeah, tongue and groove.
Beadboard, very thin and light.
$19.60, 1960, around 20 bucks for a pack of 14 that covers about 14 square feet. I think it's like 6 pieces that are 4x8. They're super thin. It's tongue and groove, which was a big part of it, but oh, see, I already just broke off a piece of the, well, I cracked it. I know we started to attach from the front fan because the idea was to make it look so there's no breaks. So we ran it from the front fan to the back fan because we knew, like, oh, a cabinet's gonna be here, the bathroom's gonna be here. Those could be shorter runs.
Right.
And so we tried to make it staggered so that you couldn't see the seams.
That's what you refer to it as stair-stepping it. Kind of like
Staggering them, yeah.
This looks good. Smells good.
I think we got 4 in that first day, and that was a disappointment. I remember I was real pissed off, and you were going to party in the park, and that's why we had to stop.
Oh. I was going to a party in the park. Oh, yeah, I was. That's right.
4 boards we got up. That's it. We bought supplies, and we got 4 pieces of cedar on. We were having issues with this wood. The tongues are really shitty and break easy, and they're hard to line up with the grooves. And the nails just hold it in place for while the glue dries. The glue is really what's going to keep it in place. But once you nail it, you can't really nail the far end, because then you got to pull this back down to get the lip of this out and fit it. and then it's like you gotta do that every time. And so when I was pulling it, I pulled the whole thing out. I cracked a piece. You can't really tell. Yeah, you can see it moving. I just jammed it back up in there. And it's really hollow, man. Not as bad. Especially right here, because you got so many studs to go to. But these big gaps sucks. This is a big undertaking. Way bigger than I thought. Especially with the amount of help I'm getting. I can't imagine doing this by myself. Or just with like one other person. It's hard. So, I came back. It's close to 7, which means I've got about an hour of daylight left. And what I'm gonna do is put some nailers in so that they can dry for tomorrow. So you could see, like I was pointing out earlier, there's large gaps between the nailers. Like these two are close, and those start to get really far spacing. So if I can throw in like 3 more nailers, it should be good. I might throw in more than that, but that's the idea. I just need to figure out now what wood I need to use as nailers. The only pieces of wood that I have that will fit underneath the cedar planks that we put up already is this 1/4-inch plywood. And my idea is to take several 3-inch strips of this at about 58 inches long and stacking them on top of each other so they're about a 1/2 inch thick. I'm gonna put some adhesive, stick those together, and then I'm gonna put adhesive on the back of both of those and hopefully slide those up in there, and those will serve as the new nailers. Looks like Tim's pulling up now. I don't know who the fuck this is.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey!
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
I'm actually working my way home. I might have stopped here and I do the meets. I live in Hobart.
Okay. So, that guy was just trying to sell meats. Cool, dude. Oh yeah, and the only thing I have to cut this wood is this jigsaw. I'm the meat man. Rock! Rocky's been being really bad. Butthead. That guy's going house to house. I can hear his damn truck. That's not bad. Okay. 5 boards I can get up there. That's not bad. And I'm gonna take this, line it up, and now it's not straight. Yeah, let's see here. And then I think I took 1x3s in between the ones we had already put to secure them, so that by the next day they were dry and we had something we could nail the ceiling boards into.
You can say we got soaked,
Yeah.
so I gotta get out of my wet underwear. We're on a golf cart.
You went to the party in the park, I'm assuming?
Yeah, the last one.
And if you want to smoke a cigarette, you can. It's not going to ruin anything. It'll make us look more like what we are in the element.
Natural.
I will if you will. I will if you will. Let's share one. He's got one. There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna.
So, anyways, Greg came with all of his cool tools.
We're cool!
His van of tools. Brought a portable table saw. And he came with Fat Boy! And so once we were starting to get a couple more in, I remember we were working from the center, from like the fans.
Right.
We were starting to move out, which meant we had to start integrating the lights. And we used a hole saw. Like, I know we just eyeballed that. We like measured across the top. Okay, this is about the center point, and then, you know, measured across and picked where they'd fit, and they wouldn't hit the cabinets. So one of the things that we ran into that was kind of a time-consuming thing was I had already wired all the lights to make sure they were working correctly before we put the ceiling up. But because I did that, we had to recut them and then put them back together. Now, I mean, we just took them and then spliced them together with those butt connectors or whatever those are, those shrink wrap connectors. And one thing that kept happening, Ty, who isn't here out of the 4 of us, kept hooking them backwards, and then they wouldn't work. So we'd have to cut it again and then connect them again. Where is he going? Where are you going?
Yep, I knew that was gonna happen.
You want me to go look up front?
Oh boy. Pizza, what you gonna do, put it on the table in there?
He's fine. I just want to record this. And now for a commercial break.
This is your Central Indiana Meat Man, and I want to let you know that I'll be in your area this week. Monday and Saturday, I will be in your area bringing my meat to your mouth. So hit me up, I'll drop by, I'll come by anyway. See you soon, Central Indiana Meat Man.
Cutting the holes, putting that just took some time. We had to figure out exactly where we wanted everything to land, so it took a couple measurements, and that's going to change depending on where you want your lights and how you want them to sit. But they're really easy. They're real light LED cup lights, and they have a little mounting bracket on them. So you just take tiny little screws and put them into the ceiling, and then it's a twist on with the light itself. Come on, Coco. Go itch somewhere else.
And that's been another thing, is
Coco,
having these
come on.
dogs around the whole time.
Go that way. Come on.
It doesn't make it real easy to get things done. But
As long as their
being that
tails
2
aren't
dog lovers are
hitting the
involved in this whole thing.
All right, I think we're fine. To wrap it up, ceiling. Got it up there. It was just a teamwork type thing where, like, my dad would glue it, I would hold it, Greg would nail it. We got this front part of the ceiling in, but now it's time to get the back, and the bathroom is going to be left open. And it was just that way so we could do it quickly before the glue started to set, but that stuff takes a bit anyways.
Yeah, it takes 24 hours.
Yeah.
To set right.
And so the nails, what do we use? You use really tiny guys.
I had just
Little
small,
brads.
but they were 18 gauge nails, just shorties though.
Shorty, what did you say? Brads? What's that?
That's a small nail. A brad.
I think some guy named Brad made them.
That'd be my guess.
Brad. Okay. So they were small nails so that we weren't puncturing through our nailers into the ceiling of the van, the actual frame of the van. We eventually got them up, and when they came to the edges of the van, that's when you had to start scribing. So what is scribing?
Just following the contour of what you have there.
Your pencil has to be in contact with your material and your surface that you're scribing it to, and you just follow it along in your pencil and make that line.
It mimics the wall or whatever.
Just use a jigsaw or something to cut that funky length.
So that's how you get the weird shapes of whatever you have. Because with a van, nothing's really square.
And there's nothing to measure off of to say
It is
this is
square, right? And it wasn't like absolutely perfect because we knew that we were going to cover that stuff up with cabinets and things like that.
But Greg had it damn close.
Yeah.
And that's the tricks of his trade, and tricks of Steve's trade is that
Right.
that trick, you know. Tricks that trick, you know. So.
And then when it came like close to the actual fans, like they weren't exactly to it because I don't think it was exactly 8 feet between the two, but we got them so close that
The cover.
the flange, right? That's what that is.
Yeah.
We had to cut that to size.
What is it called?
Trim plate.
Trim plate, so that it covers up those little imperfections. And so when you get those Max Air fans, they come with a really long trim plate, like the gap between it, because they don't know how thick your ceiling is
Right.
or how thick you're going to have to put that there. So we trimmed it down by, I don't know, 3 inches to then get it to fit right. And then again, those are just screws that fit them up there, so you can easily pull that off and get access to it and pull it out if you need to. Ceiling's in, and so are the lights, and so is the fan with the flange, and it looks pretty clean. And that was it. That was up. The bathroom was still an open cavity because we had to put in a separate little ceiling thing for that. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna end it there. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comments. Again, with suggestions, I'm sure you're gonna come up with a bunch about nailers and better ways to do it. I'm sure
That's what.
we're here to listen to it and have other people learn from it. But it holds up what we have now. It's not like the fanciest ceiling, but you don't need the fanciest ceiling. It just sits there. And it's lighter. You want to keep it lightweight so you're not putting any extra weight into your van. And that's it.
Okay, go eat.
You want to eat, and then I'll just wait.
No, you eat too. You eat. You done with me?
No.
Why not?
Because you got to talk about the... Did you leave it up there?
I'm not there yet. They're calling to make sure
Oh Jesus!
because I put down my name as Greg Hemorrhoid. They were making sure it wasn't a prank call.
Right.
Oh my God.
But they-